don't get blinded by the light from fame. We're all ordinary people at the end of the day. We make decisions, some good, some bad, but we all pushing for things we never had.
Ordinary people with extraordinary ways. Yeah. Everyday people trying to make a way.
It's just us.
Ordinary people with extraordinary ways.
Yeah.
Trying to make a difference step by step each day.
You had a good appetite today?
I probably will.
Okay. Did you have breakfast?
Oh, yes.
Big breakfast.
I never miss breakfast.
You like hockey?
I never watched it until now.
Okay, good. And then push. Mommy, push. Okay, good. Keep doing it.
Today, we are taking a different look at Alzheimer's. We're looking at it from the eyes of the caregiver. I'm Charlene Bowden. It's just us. We'll be right back.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Ballerina.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
We're back. Thanks for joining us. Joining me is Beth Kallmyer with the Alzheimer's Association and Bobby Rickard, an advocate for Alzheimer's. Thank you both so much for being on this show. So Beth, would you tell us, please, what have been some of the key findings from the recent survey?
So in the 2016 Alzheimer's Disease Facts and Figures Survey, the Alzheimer's Association found that caregivers for people with Alzheimer's and related dementias were making enormous personal sacrifices in order to provide care. We found that nearly 50% of the individuals were cutting back on basic necessities, things like food, transportation, medical care. And what we really found was that so few people were prepared for the cost of caring for someone with Alzheimer's disease, which is one of the costliest diseases and most common among seniors.
Oh, wow. So how serious is this, and what is the impact on caregivers?
So we know in the country right now there's 5.4 million Americans living with this and nearly 16 million caregivers. Right now the cost in this country is $236 billion a year, which is a significant cost for this country. Those are costs to Medicaid and Medicare and out-of-pocket costs for families.
Oh. That's a big number.
It is a big number, and it's why the association wanted to do this survey so that we could understand then what were the individual costs to families. And one of the other things that we found is there's really a tremendous knowledge gap around what types of coverage there are for long-term care. Families are really unprepared and become blindsided because they thought that Medicare would cover long-term care, and when in fact that's not true.
Thanks, Beth, for that. Now, Bobby, I understand that you actually have some firsthand experience with this. Tell us a little bit of your story.
Well, thank you for asking, and you're right. I do have a personal connection. My father lived with me and my wife and my young kids for just under 3 years before he passed from the disease, and that's really why I'm here at the Alzheimer's Association Advocacy Forum. There's 3 things that I'm really hoping to achieve while I'm here, and Beth mentioned preparation and being prepared. I want to learn more about how to help others be better prepared than I was and my family were when my dad moved in with us. We just weren't prepared for the costs, the adjustment in lifestyle, all of those kinds of things that go along with caring for someone with the disease. Also want to raise awareness to the staggering costs that Beth mentioned, the costs associated with the disease directly to individuals and on the economy as a whole. And then lastly, advocating for treatment or a cure for the disease as well.
So can you share more of your experience and specifically how it impacted your family?
Yeah, my children were 7, 9, and 11 when Dad moved in with us, and it was, first of all, a big adjustment because we had to learn that the disease, Dad was no longer Dad. The disease had taken over his body, and it wasn't him that was acting or having the problems that he was experiencing. It was the disease causing that. And so helping first of all, myself and my wife understand that, but more importantly, my children and how I wanted them to remember my dad. And then the costs, as we've been talking about, we made changes in our lifestyle just to care for Dad everywhere, anything from changes in meal plans and those kinds of things down to, activities for my kids. I can recall a couple of different situations where we made the decision to take care of Dad and pay for those medical expenses rather than have my kids participate in some sporting events, baseball and soccer particularly.
I hear that so often from people whose loved ones are dealing with Alzheimer's. It's hard to see this person that you're accustomed to being a certain way and all of a sudden they're not the same way. I'm sure that impacts you and touches you in a lot of different ways as well.
Right, it's a very difficult situation because they become someone other than what you've known them to be. And in my case, with my kids being very small, I just wanted them to understand that, that wasn't their grandfather that I grew up knowing and that was so excited when they were born. My dad, he was the youngest male on his side, and I have one of my most favorite pictures is a picture of him holding my son, who is the youngest male on that side of the family, to carry on the family name. So that's one of the most favorite pictures that I have, and just helping them remember and understand how much their grandfather cared for them and loved them.
Thank you, Bobby, for sharing your story with us. So Beth, what can be done to help people manage the burden of financial care, and where can we get more information?
The Alzheimer's Association recommends that when people are looking at retirement planning, we want them to also consider long-term care. And if you have a diagnosis in your family, please get educated about what resources are available to you, and you can find more information about those types of resources at the Alzheimer's Association website, which is alz.org.
I want to thank you both so much for being on today's show and for sharing this information with us.
Thank you, Charlene.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us today. If you'd like more information about It's Just Us, please visit our website at itsjustustalkshow.com. All of our information is there to be able to connect with us. I'm Charlene Bowden. Until next time, I hope that you will continue to happen to life. Take good care.